With Fury325 often being described as the best B&M coaster, and let's be honest, it is, how long before B&M decides to design a better layout than Fury? And which park could it be? Welcome to Theme Park Predictions and more. My name is Brandon. Now let's get into this. Now Fury325 is located at Carowinds, which is my home park. And let me tell you, this roller coaster is phenomenal, and there is every reason why it is labeled as one of the best steel coasters in the entire world. And for example, I have been lucky enough to ride over 400 different roller coasters, and Fury is my third favorite that I've ever been on. There's something about this Giga coaster that isn't right, and I almost feel as if B&M didn't actually design this coaster. Instead, they secretly hired Intamin to create this layout. Especially when you look at past Gigas and past hypercoasters, most of them are really good and usually, pretty high up in coaster rankings, but nothing like Fury. Even Mako, which is my favorite B&M hyper, it really is kind of a step above the other hypers that B&M has built, but nothing like Fury325. So far, B&M has only built 3 Giga coasters. Leviathan opened at Canada's Wonderland in 2012. Fury 2015 for Carowinds, and then Kings Island opened Orion in 2020. Now, if you've been following this channel for quite some time, you probably know that me and Orion don't really have the best relationship out there. I enjoy the ride. It's definitely not my favorite ride ever. It's actually like my 4th or 5th favorite coaster at Kings Island. Yes, I prefer Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, and Banshee over Orion, but again, that is my opinion. But am I the only one that is shocked that Kings Island, Cedar Fair's best well-rounded park, didn't get a Giga that is taller, longer, and faster than Fury? When the layout started surfacing for Kings Island's Giga, I was shocked, and I told myself, there's no way that is real. But then, when Kings Island announced their Giga, and it really was that layout, my opinion, it was a huge head scratcher. Because Kings Island has the room, Cedar Fair definitely had the money, and the market that Kings Island is in would have really huddled around a massive new Giga that broke every single record out there. So my Orion rant is officially over, and it really isn't the ride's fault. It's just more of a shocking thing to me that Cedar Fair had the opportunity to build a bigger, faster Giga, but yet basically gave Kings Island CGA's hypercoaster, called it a Giga, added a little bit to the height, the length, etc., and now we have Orion. Which is really shocking, especially with how great Fury's layout was and all the great elements that B&M created, but I really am kind of shocked that B&M did not take any of the main elements out of Fury and make them bigger and even better on Orion. Again, my opinion, I'm just a little bit shocked. That is all. Now it's obvious that hypers and Giga coasters are arguably the most expensive coaster type out there, ranging anywhere from 18 to 25, $30 million. And obviously those prices will continue to go up due to inflation and everything else. But with that said, there really aren't that many more parks out there, at least here in America, that 1 has the room, 2 can afford, and 3 really needs either a hyper or a Giga coaster, except for Knott's Berry Farm. Now, they might not have the room, but I am working with Escape Designs on a new Giga coaster layout that's going to be coming soon to this channel that, trust me, you do not want to miss. And speaking of Escape Designs, our West Coast Velocicoaster style layout for Universal Studios Hollywood, which is called Atrocicoaster, is coming very, very soon, and you're not going to want to miss that either. But back to Fury325 and the Giga coaster and B&M's hypers. I know everything isn't up to B&M when a park asks them to build a new roller coaster, but it is very ironic that Fury325 really does stand out over every other B&M ever created. But I really feel as if the best elements on Fury are the 2 low to the ground turns, and of course the treble clef, and then the drop into the high dive. Also, the 2 airtime hills at the end of the coaster always deliver great airtime. So just imagine B&M building a bigger layout featuring a taller lift hill and incorporating these low to the ground turns that really do give you the sense of speed that a rider really needs on a Giga coaster. Because the way most Gigas have been designed, it's more or less about the quick transitions and the low to the ground elements over the giant airtime hills that you typically find on your hypercoasters. And when you think about it, it really is very smart for designers to design Gigas to offer a completely different riding experience and layout than a hypercoaster. But as far as which park has the room, has the money, and the ambition to build a bigger Giga, because I'm sure B&M could do it. I mean, after all, they could probably get these lift hills to 400 feet and maybe 500 feet if they wanted to. And since we all know that Six Flags is not in the position to build a coaster of this magnitude, and most Cedar Fair parks already have a Giga, and I really don't feel as if any other parks out there in the chain will get one besides Knott's, leads us to either Busch Gardens Tampa, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, or SeaWorld San Antonio. That park has a ton of room. As far as hypers go, I could see Dollywood and or Silver Dollar City both building a hypercoaster in the future. But a Giga, I'm not really sold on that idea due to the elevation and the terrain those parks offer. Though, on the other hand, those parks would make it a lot easier for a roller coaster to feature the world's longest drop if they play it off the terrain. Now, I do gotta say, I do feel as if all those parks have challenges when building this type of coaster of that height, but I do think it's possible that those parks could potentially get a Giga. Now, overseas is a different story, especially in China and Asia, because those parks seem as if they have unlimited amount of money coming in for new capital and new coaster projects, which leads us to Europe. And there's two parks on my mind that I feel as if could build the world's best B&M Giga coaster going forward. And those would be Energylandia and Port Aventura. Both parks have the room and clearly have the funds. Now, I do know that Energylandia has not built any B&Ms yet, but Zadra cost around 16 or 17 million USD, I believe. And there's a lot of rumors out there saying that Energylandia will not build a coaster that's going to cost like $25-30 million. Whether that is true or not, we all know that Energylandia has the room, the ambition, and clearly they are the future roller coaster capital of the world, and I really do feel as if they will have the best collection of coasters overall within the next 10 years or so. But let's switch over to Port Aventura. This park in Spain is phenomenal. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and clearly they were able to build a 360-some foot tall coaster when they built Red Force, their intimate LSM top hat coaster. Now, pairing a B&M Giga that offers a better layout than Fury325 with the highly talked about Shambhala, the B&M Hyper that everyone raves about that has ridden it and says it is by far the best B&M Hyper in the world. Yes, over Mako, Goliath, and Diamondback. Just imagine what kind of 1-2 punch Port Aventura could be working with if, in fact, we see a new B&M Giga pop up at the park in the next 5 years that offers a better layout than Fury325. But one thing we have to keep in mind, and that is size does not mean everything. And I really do feel as if we could see B&M design a hypercoaster that offers more of a Fury-like layout that could potentially be better than Fury altogether. Again, it all depends on the layout and each transition that the coaster offers. I really do feel as if one day B&M will build a coaster that is better than Fury325. But until then, I'm going to enjoy riding Fury pretty much anytime I want and know that it's by far the best B&M coaster ever built. Do you think we will ever see B&M design a better coaster than Fury325? And if so, what kind of layout do you think the ride would offer? And what park out there could build a coaster like this? You know what to do. Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.